Hello, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Welcome to my channel. I'm Sharon and you're watching Be Divine Vintage. So yesterday I made these page dividers using upcycled scraps and vintage tray cloth. These are from my Water Babies journal. So today I want to make some little bits of sari ribbon and decorate it for on the pages of the journal. I'll just pop them on like at the bottom edge or along the side or wherever I think. So I'm going to make about 8 of these, but I'm just going to bring you on the journey today to make one of them. So this is one I'm already working on here, and this one I've done with vintage jewellery. You don't have to do it with vintage jewellery. The one I'm going to do now, I'm not sure that I'm going to make it with vintage jewellery. We'll just make it with whatever. So what I've got here are some of my vintage jewellery bits. Wherever I go, car boot sales, etc., I buy shiny. I don't think these are vintage, but they're still really, I keep going off piste. They're really sparkly. This is a pretty one. I think that's really a pretty one as well. So yeah, I just gathered together my bits and bobs. So I've got those here. I've also got my box of, these are all my shiny bits. You know, my shiny sparkly trims. So they're all kept in there. So there is sequins, there's these bubbly things, beady things, more sequins, just all sorts, pearl trim. That is actual large purple sequin trim. So yeah, so I keep all that in there. So I've got that with me. I've got my glue. Because whereas this one yesterday it was all stitching, this one I am going to use glue. So what I do first of all is let's go yellow, yeah. So I'll get a piece of sari silk, but you can use ribbon. You could use a strip of fabric. Anything you want to do. This is hand-dyed sari silk. This is sale in my shop. This is what it looks like if you ordered it from me. I've got these other colours, lots of other colours. This lovely oranges and blues. I think there's about 3 meters on a row. On a wrapped around a twig. This is driftwood twigs. So we'll just start by scrunching this up. I'm just going to sit down. We just bring in a little bit closer. There we go. So I've got my needle and cotton, and I'm using a good cotton here. This actually is vintage cotton. I go to the thrift shops, and if I see cotton, then I buy it. So this is a roll of vintage cotton, and sometimes they're a bit dirty on the outside, but that doesn't really matter at all. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my piece of ribbon, and in the middle at one end I'm just going to sort of fasten the cotton off. Now you might tie a knot in. I don't tend to tie knots in. This is a piece of like torn fabric. You see it's a much narrower one to use as a to make one of these with. This I would say is about 1.5 inches to 2 inches in places wide. No, 1.5 inches. Let's just which will be about 4 centimeters, is it? 4 centimeters. Right, so just start off at the end there. so you get a good fix. And then I'm literally just doing a running stitch all the way along. Now you can go onto your sewing machine and you can do your gathers on your sewing machine if you wish. You don't have to do. I'm at the minute finding this very, very therapeutic. It's been a bit of a stressor of late. So I'm just making things within my craft room as therapeutic as I possibly can. So my daughter is expecting, and she has been, it's our first grandbaby. She has been incredibly poorly. You see, I'm just going in and out, literally in and out. And in a minute, I'll just pull that thread through. Yeah, she's been incredibly poorly. Spent much of her early pregnancy in hospital under care of, well, not only obs and gynae, but the cardiothoracics and the abdominal team, and it's been a challenging time. Anyway, she had a 12-week scan yesterday, and she was so happy. Baby's fine. She said baby's got a button nose, and sure enough, on the scan you can see the button nose, and it was riddling around, she said. So it was lovely to see it. So she's got to see she's going to be under the obstetrician because of the complications she's had early on in her pregnancy. Initially, well, throughout being in hospital, they didn't treat her with any medication. They purely treated her with bed rest and some physio, etc. So, but if it'd become life-threatening for her, she would have had to have had medication. So hopefully the baby should be fine. They've said it's fine. It's the right size for its gestation, and you know, they do all the measurements and check the heart rate. Its little bladder was full, so it shows its gastro and its urinary organs are working. So yeah. So yesterday they checked for spine on the scan. It's amazing what they do. They checked for spina bifida and Downs, and she's very low risk. So that was good news. Not that it would have made any difference to Jessica at all. There wouldn't have been. There'd have only been one choice, and that's to keep the baby. So yes, so it's all going well. Right, so we pull that through, and then what we need to do is gather it up. Oh, I didn't measure out this length. So to start with, all my pieces are a similar length. To start with, it is 12, so about 14 inches. About 14 inches. Let's check that width. Yep, 1.5 inches. So the width is 4 centimetres. Yay! And the length will be 36 centimetres. So right, so now we're going to gather up. So it's up to you now. So this original length you can have as large or as small as you want it. It's up to you. And when you pull it in, you can make it as crinkled or as not crinkled as you want to. So yeah, so I have been very, very stressed recently for my daughter and my son-in-law and for the baby, and yeah, so I'm not going to be through it all, am I really, until that baby's delivered safe. I understand my mum now, how she was when I was pregnant. Yeah. Yes, so yeah, so she's not going to find out the sex, she says. So we're all like discussing baby names, and so if you've got any baby names, girls or boys, put them down below. I'm just going to put that through there to tie a knot, and I'm going to go through again. This is just to finish off the end. And I'm going to tie another knot. There we go. So yeah, so we're all baby names, and in a few weeks, once she gets past 16 weeks, we're going to start and buy some bits and pieces. So that's exciting too. So what I do next is, you can see it's like, it's got a mind of its own. So I think this colour in my shop is called butter, I think. Is it Cornish butter or Devon butter? I love the real butter that you can get that's got pieces of salt in it. Oh, love that. So I just sort of put it to where I think the creases, the ruffles should be. And then I've got a book here. Can you see the book? Here it is, just an ordinary book. And I am just going to, there's already a ruffle under the book, well it was, so I'm going to put it under the book just to help flatten it out. So when I come to work on it, I'll just take it from under the book, and then hopefully it should be more flattened like this one is. So I have to decide now whether I want to add more to that, and I actually don't. So that one, it's on the edge of a page or across the page or what have you. It's going to look real. Yeah, let's bring it into focus, into picture. So that is going to look really good. Either under a page, down a page. The length of it now is, so it was 14 inches, wasn't it, at first? So this one is about 6 inches, which is 16 centimetres. So yeah, so I really like that. I'm not going to do any more. Now my theme is like this, is water babies. I'm doing it under the sea. So I thought some of these might be things that mermaids have collected. It could be pirate treasure. It could be jewellery that's just been dropped into the ocean. So yeah, I do feel it fits my theme. Let's just pop that one down. There. Right, now I've got here on my table, this is just, you can use parchment, you can use baking paper, whatever to stop, because now I'm going to use glue, because I think it's easier to glue it on than to try and stitch it on. So I've used that to stop this from sticking to the table. So I'm going to work on this blue piece. It has been under the flattener, but it's just deciding to curl itself. I'm going to pop that there. And I was thinking for this, I do like this white, you see it's sequins and ribbon. So I like that one. But I am very much a colour girl. I do like colour. So I was looking at sequins. So there's like the silver sequins. They look pretty. Yeah, there are the gold sequins. They look pretty. So shout out, oh look at that with all the different, because it's a little bit, what's it called? What is it called when it has that in it? That's pretty. I can't remember what it's called, that. So quite like, these are diamantes. So I'm just showing you these as an alternative that you do not have to put jewellery onto it. So you can use your other trim. You could put lace down the middle of it. That looks nice. That looks really pretty. I also like this, thinking of the under the sea. I like the pearl trim down the middle, and that will also just sort of keep it, you know, in line, then it stops curling off in its own way. So there's that trim, I like that one. Yep. This looks nice as well. This is some, is it called Rick Rack? pink rick-rack. That looks quite nice too. It's a little bit, reminds me of the inside of a shell. Which one do you think I should go for? I mean, you don't have to just have one. It's pink rick-rack. I could put that like over the top of it. That's pretty. So this is the best bit, isn't it? Decorating things. Not hieroglyphics. I'm on the right track, aren't I? No, that doesn't go on there. Does not go. So shall I do that? Or should I do this? I really do like this one. I'm going to do the pink, like pink shell. So I've got my fabric tack. And let's glue this on. Let's take that off there because that black can go with my black things. Right, let's glue this on. You can stitch it on if you want to do, but like I said before, I'm using my glue. So I'm going to start at this end. Even though it's been under the book, it still does its own thing. So I'll just put a little bit of fabric tack along there. Sorry that if you can't see properly because of my hands, but with it curling up, I do just need to use my fingers a little bit more. Right, yeah, it reminds me of the inside of a shell, this. So let's go here and just pop that on. Let's cut that little bit off the end. That's lovely. When you can see when you put the trim in the middle, it does flatten down a little bit. That is really pretty. We've just come back from Croatia and the beach really surprised me because it's a shale beach. There was just like no shells. And I love going onto the beach collecting shells. No shells. But then we went to Sri Lanka earlier in the year and the shells were absolutely amazing. So I collected them all. I had them in a little dish in my room. And then I went to get them. Sorry, I was just looking at that. Just caught my eye then. I went to get them and they'd gone. They just disappeared. So where they went, I don't know. My husband says that the cleaners must have just moved them because they were like wrapped in a tissue inside the container. So they've probably just gathered it up and thrown it in the bin. So I was really sad because I'd collected little tiny shells, or whether they'd collected them up and put them back on at the beach. That's what I hope they did. I hope they didn't throw them away. Right, here we go. There we go. Let's just cut that off there. So, that shouldn't be in there. Throw that away. There we go. That's on there. So what can we do next? Do we want to put some of this on? Or should we put some little butterflies on it? They're pretty, aren't they? Excuse me. Oh, there's this lovely like aquamarine. Is it aquamarine? Turquoise colour anyway. Does that go on? No. There's these flowers as well. Oh, they're pretty, aren't they? I like those. Got another butterfly. Now, I have got butterflies in, quite a few butterflies in this journal. So, I've got this little flower here, which could go in the middle. Yes, Then we could have a butterfly each side, couldn't we? Like it. I love it, in fact. So these butterflies are bought at a local haberdashery, and they were on a big roll. And they were all little pieces of cotton. Get off. So these I do sweep up after. It's a wooden floor, I just sweep up after. Yeah, so it was on a roll, and so I don't think I've any left now. I just cut them off, and then I've dyed them as I've gone along and used them. They're really, really pretty. I love to use them. Okay, there it is. I just wondered where it was then. Do we want anything underneath it? Do we want... So this is a similar sort of... Yeah, we could put a little bit of netting underneath. Why not? Here's some more. Yeah, so this one will be a similar sort of theme to the page dividers. In fact, this one here with the butterfly on. You could put more buttons and things on if you wanted to. The only thing you have to think about with these and with these is the bulk. So you want to try and make them as fine as you possibly can. Right, I'm going to stick those on. You can glue them, you can stitch them on if you want to do. Sometimes I would just put a little tiny bit of glue in the middle, pop them on just to pop them in position, and then stitch them on. But for ease of the video, rather than you watching me stitch on every piece, I'm going to do it like this. So those are there. Pop a little bit of glue on there. Let's put that netting on. Everything's like springing all over the place. Pop the butterfly. Look, it's just like the magic. You're flying yourself. You're flying yourself. Put some glue on the back of it. And stick that down. Stick the flower in the middle. Well, could it be one of them like sand dollars? Or do these look like sand dollars? I've never really seen sand dollars. I've seen like dried ones at beach shops and things, but I've never seen a real live sand dollar on the beach. Do you have live ones? Or are they like dried up ones like you see in the shops? I don't know, because we don't have them over here. There we go. Beautiful. There we go, that's that one. So two very different looking pieces of ephemera there for in the book. I will, of course, not put these into the book. Well, I might put some of them into the book, but then I'll put them in with you, because I have one more set of ephemera to show you, which I'll do in a separate video. Now then, let's have a look. Do we want anything in the middle of these? These little purple stones are nice, aren't they? Yeah, but I don't think I do actually. I think I like it as it is. What's this? This is like a little flower. Where's it gone? Just had it. There's these little purple stones. Do I want one of those on? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Do I want a diamante in the middle? What do we think? We could put one in the middle of each of these. Do you know, I think we will. Go on. Go on, we will. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We've got one there. We've got one there. 1, 2. Let's find another one. too bulky. Come on, let's find another. I might just have to put 2 on. That's lovely, isn't it? That's a shell in the middle of that. That's lovely. Let's just keep that out. That's pretty. Maybe we could put that in the middle there of that. Oh, hang on. We've got 3 tiny square ones. Oh, there's 2 there actually. There's 1 on each end. Right, got it. Got my pliers, you'll be pleased to know. So let's just cut these off. Be careful, stop them like flying all over the room. That's 1. I'm a sucker for anything sparkly. Well, do you know what I've just bought too? It's arrived. I bought for Christmas Day one of those escape room in a box. So it's like clues and things to get into the box and to solve the puzzle. So there's clues and puzzles and all sorts. So I thought rather than a board game, we'll have a go at that on Christmas Day. And it's just arrived and I'm like thinking, oh, I want to open this box. I want to open this box. Right, there we go. There's 3. So if we put the 2 matching ones, 1 on each end, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. So we'll put the 2 matching ones on each end. 1. 2. And that one in the middle. Oh, pretty. There we go. I'm just wondering if there should be something there, you know. What do you think? Should we put this on? Yeah, I think we will. Let's just cut this off. I like this because it's the suffragette colours as well. Pink and green, aren't they? Being the... I'm going to have to cut it there. Because there's a stone missing there. I'll have to make it smaller. Yeah, being the feminist that I am, the believer in the divine feminine, I very much... I would have been a suffragette, me. I would have been locked up that many times for challenging everything, anything and everything, to make sure we got the vote. Oh, it's come off anyway, that one. So on voting day, I'm like to my daughters, you make sure you go and vote. You know, women lost their lives for you to have that vote. And the colours were pink, green, and like this diamondy colour, pink, green and white. So let's have a little nod to my feminism there in the suffragette colours. Oh, I think that's, yeah. Because this one's got like the twist. It's the diamantes with the twist round it. Then we've got that is very vintage diamante there. I think that's a bit more modern, maybe like 80s, 90s. This one is obviously like 30s, 40s. These were, I think, from like the 40s. And now we've got that on. I know it isn't suffragette. Don't know what era it is, but it's a little nod to the suffragettes. Those are going to look great, aren't they, going in the book? And if they don't all go in the book, then they'll go in my stash. So I'm Sharon. You've been watching me on my channel, Be Divine Vintage. I'm 6 off my first 1,000. At my first 1,000, I'll be putting a vintage pack together of fabrics and things. So you may well win some of these within my vintage package. We're open to the world again. I don't know if it's for every country, but for this country, the tariffs, the huge tariff to the United States has been lifted. So I'm posting to the States again. So anybody can have a go at winning my whatever I choose to package up. And once I've got 1,000 likes, then 1,000 subscribers, then I will let you know how to enter for the draw. So yeah, I hope you like those. Very, very simple, aren't they? Very simple. I'm all about simplicity. I think simplicity just looks just so pretty. Let's pop those so you can see a couple of these. The page dividers. I'm sort of doing them all in colours that harmonise together, the colours of the journal. Lovely. So I'll link the video on how to make these. I can link it below. So thank you so much for watching, and please hit that subscribe, comment. Please like, please share. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much.